everyone, Miss Kelly from the Wakanda Area Library here to show you what we're doing with this month's Art to Go kit. So since for most of you this is the last month of school, I thought I would give you something that you can continue working on all summer. So inside your kit you're going to find 2 little planting cups, a wooden stick, some carrot seeds, and I gave you all a little cardboard tray to start your seeds in to move them around the house if you need to. You're going to need some dirt, and you're going to need some water and something so you can write carrots on here. So let's get started. So I've got some soil from my backyard here. Make sure you check with a grown-up about where you're going to get your dirt from. Don't just dig a hole in the backyard without making sure it's okay first. Make sure you check through and there's not any big rocks in there or pieces of old roots or even little pieces of wood. And then I'm just using a spoon here for my shovel since it's kind of a small. I needed a tiny shovel, so this plastic spoon would work just perfect. So I'm going to split it between these 2 cups. You can tell that these 2 cups are probably going to be too small for carrots to grow up in unless you want to have some very teeny tiny carrots. So these are just going to be starter plants. So we're going to start them and get them healthy and a little bit bigger here. And then if you have the place to plant them outside, you can move them outside. If you want, you can plant them directly outside. Just find a spot that you think is going to be safe. Again, check with your grown-up. And you're going to do it the same way. So if you're planting them outside, you don't need to fill the cup up first, but you're going to do the same thing we're going to do now. So if you're planting in a cup with me, you're going to take your carrot seeds, which, open. You've got quite a lot of seeds in there. Pour them into your hand. If you're putting them in the ground outside, you're going to make a row and sprinkle a little bit of seeds all the way in the row. And just lightly push them in the ground. You don't need to cover them up really hard or push them down hard. But if you're doing them in these starter containers like me, you're just going to pinch up some and kind of just sprinkle it over the top of the soil. If you're doing this outside, you're going to sprinkle them in a little row. And this is one of the reasons why you're going to need a marker, because if you do plant them outside, we do want to make sure you can find them again. Take a spoonful of dirt, sprinkle it right over the top. Same thing if you're doing it outside, sprinkle just a little soil over the top. And then always when you plant something, it needs a little bit of water right away. I have just a little bit of water in my cup here so that I don't flood them. I want to be able to control how much water I put in there. And when you're growing something like this, you need to check it every day and make sure the soil is just a little wet. You don't want it to be too wet. Never should be a puddle of water in your plant. That's too much. Your seeds can actually drown. It'll be too much for them. Okay, so these guys are all set. Let's move these over here. And we're going to take on your stick. I've got some markers here. Crayons will work fine too, especially if you're going to put these outside, they'll work good. And I'm going to, on my marker stick now, this part is going to go in the ground, so I'm not going to write down here where the word is. I'm just going to come up here, and I think I'll draw a carrot on there so we know this is carrots. Draw a couple carrots. Okay, and give it a little carrot tops, like blue carrot tops. There you go. Now the carrot top is what you're going to see growing out of the dirt. The rest of it, remember, we actually eat the root of the carrot. That's what's going to be growing in the ground. So you're just going to see that. Oops, Miss Kelly. And I think I'll put that one. Let's find it a little stronger. I'll put Miss Kelly's carrots. Now, if you don't have a place in your yard to plant these, or they can be grown in a container. So you need a container that's about this big, maybe at least 8 inches deep, or maybe if you have one of these flower pots, this would work fine too. Or you could even grow carrots in a 2-liter bottle. It's definitely big enough. You just need to cut the top part off. And we're gonna wait. I've got one that's been growing for a little while, so I can show you my teeny tiny starter plants. There's some little carrots that I started a few weeks ago. So when they're about this big, they're ready to be transplanted into either the ground outside or into your big container in the house. But you can, like I said, if you want to start these outside, you can. It's going to take a good probably 60 to 70 days for your carrots to get big enough to grow. So just make sure you keep an eye on them. Make sure that you keep any weeds or animals away from them if they're outside. Water them and make sure that they get plenty of sunlight. And by the beginning of August, probably pretty soon to the beginning of the next school year, you should have some carrots to enjoy. I hope you guys have a great summer. I'm going to keep doing Art to Go, so keep an eye out for that. And I'll see you soon. Bye now.